Hi, everyone. My name is Ido Akinde. Everyone calls me ID. We have, if you're seeing this video, then, obviously season one and season two have already been released. So we have discussed in season one, customer validation. How do you filter, between candidates, prospective customers? Season two, problem validation. How do you, when you zoom in or hone in on one particular customer, how do you validate which of the problems in that particular customer's life to solve? Okay, season two. Season one, customer validation. Season two, problem validation. With this video, I'd like to introduce you to season three. Season three, we'll be talking about, the last leg of that thing called customer development, right? Which is solution validation. So it's three steps: customer validation, problem validation, and now we're about to discuss solution validation. As you might imagine, right, the flow is you try to find a worthy customer to build something for, right? Hopefully someone who is experiencing a problem that seems really, really, really interesting to you. Please remember our Baba Moshood downfall dilemma / informal design thinking definition and discussion in season one, episode one. Okay. After getting some kind of sense of interest, right, in a particular customer, in a particular customer archetype, persona, prospect, you then want to have some way of ranking the observed problems in that particular customer's life. So if you spend a lot of time immersing yourself in the world of Baba Moshood, if you remember that analogy, right, in season one, if you spend a lot of time immersing yourself into that world, that exercise, that immersion exercise would have brought out for you a couple or a number of observed problems, right? So this guy actually has some kind of payment friction. Perhaps he doesn't care about it, but he does have that payment friction. He does have some, let me see, creditworthiness friction. He does have, load accessibility friction. He does have some health problems. He does have some, all sorts of problems, right? Some of them he cares about, some of them he doesn't care about. But you as the observer, you as the designer, the innovator, the person who's deploying design thinking, need to have a way to rank and prioritize those problems, those observed problems. And that was the focus of season two, problem validation. Now you found this problem. Hopefully you can pick from the top and say, this problem looks like a really, really juicy one. The pain severity is high, and I can bet you that I can find 20,000 Baba Moshoods or 2 million Baba Moshoods or 20 million Baba Moshoods in a particular geography, right? So even if, that sounds like it has the ingredients to be a great problem to solve. Like I said, good problem. You then take that problem and you now start to think about how to solve it. And this is where this season shines. In this season, we will discuss a couple of approaches to designing solutions in response to observed frictions and/or problems and/or frustrations and/or agonizing situations in the lives of our customers. So solution validation means now, by this stage, obviously, if you remember our stage-wise breakdown of the startup journey, by this time, if you are already doing some kind of problem validation, you are kind of out of idea stage. You're somewhere halfway into the prototype stage. You're not fully there yet, but you're almost there. You're in the beginning. You're at the entrance of the prototype stage. What that means is you start to play around with a certain one or two, a few problems in the customer's life, and you start to tinker with, imagine, perhaps ideate around what might be a solution to this problem. Now, this is where you need to be careful, right? Especially smart people, like I always say, have the temptation to over-promote their own idea of what a solution might be when speaking and interacting with customers. So the trick here is to deliberately force yourself to validate as much of your ideas of what a solution might look like with the customer. So in the prototype stage, the purpose of the prototype stage, one of the purposes of the prototype stage is for you to take some kind of a sketch or a look-alike of what the final solution might be and share this promise, this future promise, okay? Whatever you're thinking about how to solve the problem for the customer, you shouldn't be solving it in isolation of the customer. That's exactly what I'm trying to say, right? So before you go too far thinking about any components of the solution, you want to quickly have a way to either physically confirm that with the customer and say, this is what my team and I are thinking. This is what we've done so far. What do you think? Okay. And then, sometimes it may not be as verbatim as that, right? It may be something that may not be, what do you think? It may be, use this and let's observe your feedback, or excuse me, it may be, use this and we will analyze your feedback, or use this and tell us how you feel about it. So, there's so many ways to deliver it, and each of them depends on the context. But the key object of this season, of the techniques discussed in this season, are for you to think more optimally about how you design solutions in response to the identified problems in a particular customer's life that you want to solve. So without much further ado, let me welcome you once again to Season 3, Solution Validation. Always my pleasure to discuss topics around customer development. Customer development is one of my favorite topics to discuss. The people at Founder Institute always do me the honor of inviting me for their customer development sessions, and I really, really, really love to discuss it, because I think that in my experience, many of the challenges that startup founders face further down the line on the journey of building their startup take root from the customer development phase. So something probably wasn't done well or well enough in the customer development phase, and then it starts to rear its ugly head, somewhere down the line. So I really, really like to discuss about customer development. Like I said earlier, customer development is the addition, or is the combination of the three things we've discussed so far: customer validation, problem validation, and solution validation. If you take those things together, that's the standard definition of customer development. So this season should have about, I think it's 5 videos. I can't remember exactly how many now, but it's a couple of small videos that discuss minor topics, and then one big video at the end that really, really discusses one of my favorite topics to discuss, the business model canvas. Without much further ado, I'm going to shut up now and get out of your face. Thank you very much for tolerating my hallucinations. See you in the next one. Bye.